There was a time when you believed you would live forever, not because someone told you, but because your brain literally couldn't imagine anything else. As a child, death is just another word. You know it exists. You might even know that grandparents die or pets die, but somehow you don't. Then one day, it happens. Maybe you're lying in bed. Maybe you're riding home in the car. Maybe you're brushing your teeth. Out of nowhere, a terrifying thought appears. One day, I'm going to die. Not your grandparents, not strangers. You. And for the first time, it feels real. Why does this happen? Why does it happen so suddenly? And why do psychologists believe that this single realization shapes almost everything we do for the rest of our lives? Young children understand death very differently from adults. Researchers have found that before around age 6 or 7, many children don't fully grasp that death is permanent. To them, it's more like sleep, disappearing, or something that only happens to other people. Their brains simply haven't developed the ability to understand permanence the way adults do. But that's only part of the story. Even after children learn what death is, most still don't emotionally connect that idea to themselves. It's almost as if the brain keeps an invisible shield around the thought, I'm different. It won't happen to me. It's not arrogance, it's development. The human brain spends years building an understanding of time, the future, identity, and cause and effect. Only when those pieces come together can one terrifying conclusion finally appear. I won't exist forever. Psychologists don't believe there's one exact age when this realization happens. For some people, it's 8. For others, it's 28. Some people experience it after losing a family member. Others during illness or after becoming a parent. Sometimes, nothing happens at all. You're simply sitting alone, and suddenly your brain connects two facts it's always known. Everyone dies, and I'm everyone. That tiny connection creates one of the strangest emotional experiences humans can have. Existential awareness. Your heart races. Your stomach drops. You might even feel detached from reality for a few seconds. Some people describe it as panic. Others describe it as looking at the world differently forever. Here's something fascinating. Your brain is incredibly good at avoiding thoughts of death. In fact, it might be doing it right now. Think about how often you worry about work, money, relationships, and deadlines. Now compare that to how often you genuinely think about your own mortality. Probably almost never. That's not because death isn't important. It's because your brain has evolved to protect you from thinking about it constantly. Imagine trying to hunt, raise children, build friendships, or simply enjoy life if every waking moment your brain screamed, "You're going to die." You'd never get anything done, so evolution found another solution: distract you. In psychology, there's a famous idea called terror management theory. It starts with one uncomfortable assumption. Humans are the only animals who fully understand they're going to die while still wanting desperately to stay alive. That's a problem, an enormous problem. Imagine having an instinct that says, survive, alongside intelligence that says, eventually you'll fail. According to the theory, most of human civilization is our way of coping with that contradiction. Religion, fame, families, nations, careers, art, books, buildings, and even social media all allow us to feel that some part of us continues after we're gone. Whether that's through children, memories, achievements, or ideas. In other words, humans don't just chase happiness, we chase permanence. Here's where things become even stranger. Psychologists have performed experiments where participants are asked to spend just a few minutes writing about their own death. Nothing graphic, just imagining it. Afterward, people consistently behave differently. Some become more patriotic. Some become more protective of their beliefs. Some judge people outside their group more harshly. Others become more generous or more focused on family. Just thinking about death for a few minutes changes human behavior without people even realizing why. It's as if the awareness pushes the brain to protect whatever gives life meaning. At first, this sounds depressing. But many psychologists argue the opposite. People who've had genuine encounters with mortality, surviving accidents, recovering from serious illness, or even just confronting the reality of death, often report something unexpected. Greater appreciation for life. Small annoyances seem smaller. Relationships matter more. Sunsets feel different. Food tastes better. Time becomes valuable. Ironically, accepting death can make people feel more alive, because once time feels limited, every moment gains value. Here's the strange part. Nobody knows exactly when they'll die. That uncertainty creates two completely opposite reactions. Some people postpone everything. I'll travel someday. I'll call them later. I'll start next year. Others realize that someday isn't guaranteed, so they begin living differently today. The exact same fact that life ends can either create fear or urgency. The difference isn't mortality, it's perspective. The realization that you'll die may be the most frightening thought your brain will ever have, but it may also be the most important. Because before that moment, time feels infinite. After it, time becomes precious. And maybe that's why our brains wait so long before letting us truly understand it. Not because we're supposed to fear death, but because we're supposed to appreciate life first. So here's a question. Can you remember the exact moment you realized that one day you were going to die? If you can, you're not alone. Almost everyone has one. They just never forget it.